the cameras flashed. The internet held its breath. A celebrity divorce is usually just chaos.
Oh, absolutely. It's a battleground.
Yeah.
You expect lawyers, leaks, scorched earth allegations.
Right. You expect the public pleas, the messy details, basically an immediate slide into tabloid hell.
But not this time. This one was different. It was perfectly packaged.
Strategically delivered and seasoned with a heavy dose of that signature Amy Schumer self-deprecating humor.
It wasn't a scandal. It was an event. A masterclass in narrative control, really, designed to preempt every single question.
So that became the immediate question, right? Was this split truly amicable, or was it just managed so flawlessly that it couldn't look anything but amicable? Was this, the final performance of a 7-year relationship?
Welcome to StarScope Report. Join us as we uncover Hollywood drama, music industry shakeups, and viral influencer scandals. From red carpet surprises to social media controversies, we dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
And today, we are doing a deep dive into the separation of comedian Amy Schumer and the James Beard award-winning chef Chris Fischer.
We're analyzing that December 12, 2025 announcement that, critics are already calling a case study in strategic dissolution.
We really need to look at how she dismantled potential tabloid stories before they even had a chance to materialize.
Okay, let's unpack the strategy, because the headline itself, that very first line of the announcement, that's the key.
Exactly. So the announcement comes on a Friday, December 12th, after 7 years of marriage. But the most shocking and frankly genius part wasn't the split, it was the opening line of her Instagram post.
It started in bold with, blah, blah, blah. Chris and I have made the difficult decision to end our marriage after 7 years.
That blah, blah, blah.
That phrase is the entire PR strategy in 3 words. It's weaponized. It instantly dismisses the whole solemn celebrity statement thing.
But does it, though? I wonder if that kind of dismissal, does it make it feel less authentic? Like, when you mock the formula, are you really expressing the difficulty of it all, or are you just efficiently shutting people out?
Well, that's where the genius is, I think. Because today, authenticity often looks like a joke, not some, heartfelt statement. She's mocking the formula while fulfilling the obligation.
So she takes the emotional air out of the room instantly.
Yeah, and she positions them as self-aware, above the usual melodrama.
So it's not just about what she said. The visual she used was just as important.
Precisely. She chose her platform, Instagram, and the photo was them smiling on a crowded, really mundane subway platform. It wasn't a red carpet shot.
No, it underscored a shared normal life,
Yeah.
a reality, even in separation.
And that reality includes their son, which brings us to the absolute core of the message, the co-parenting firewall.
Yes, that was essential.
They wrote that they would continue to focus on raising our son, 6-year-old Gene, and demanded privacy.
And by doing that, they immediately established this powerful ethical boundary. Any reporter trying to dig deeper now looks like they're infringing on a child's privacy.
It completely redirects the focus from conflict to responsibility.
Okay, but this is where it gets really interesting. This is the forensic planning. Scheer proactively neutralized 3 major, completely expected tabloid tropes in that same post.
Strategic preemption at its peak. She uses her comedy as a PR weapon.
She starts with her weight loss.
Right. She denied the split was due to her recent, high-profile weight loss, writing that it was not because I dropped some pounds and thought I could bag a basket.
Bag a basket. The sheer specificity of that phrase, she's anticipating the exact kind of sexist angle the press would take and just deflates it with a joke.
And she didn't stop there. She also preempted the he cheated or she got too famous angle.
Yeah, saying it wasn't because Fischer is a hot James Beard award-winning chef who can still pull some hot tail.
By saying the gossip points out loud, she claims ownership of them. She makes them sound superficial and silly.
And then, the final piece, the PR safety net. She confirmed the split was amicable and all love and respect, family forever.
And People sources immediately backed it up. They called it a cohesive split with nothing ugly. They basically engineered an environment with zero room for sensationalism.
So we know how they announced it with this incredible precision, but our sources show the signs were there for months. They were giving the public some very confusing signals.
But wait till you hear about the real estate maneuvers. That whole story about moving closer to their son's school, was that just an elegant cover for a massive financial decoupling? We'll get into that in a moment.
And if you are loving how we pull back the curtain on these Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed. We got more stories ahead, including all the subtle signs they were laying the groundwork for this split long before the world knew.
Okay, so the seeds of this were really sown back in November 2025. This wasn't a snap decision.
No way. The first and maybe most dramatic nonverbal signal was on November 11th, the Instagram wipe.
Ah, the classic social media wipe.
Right. Schumer deleted all her previous photos, including the ones with Fischer, and her excuse was just, deleted my old pics for no reason.
Which nobody believes. I mean, a celebrity wiping their social media history is a huge signal. Plus, she was seen without her wedding ring around that time, so the press was already on alert.
And then the messages got intentionally ambiguous. It feels like they were still negotiating things privately, which led to these conflicting signals as the media started sniffing around.
Exactly. First, she posts on her Instagram stories, and Chris and I are still married. Just a flat denial.
But then, just days later, by December 1st, the tone completely shifts.
It does. She posted a health update and sort of tucked in this little line of ambiguous hope. She said, whatever ends up happening with me and Chris has nothing to do with weight loss or autism. Fingers crossed we make it through. He's the best.
That shift is everything, going from we're fine to fingers crossed in a matter of days. It feels like they were just buying time to finalize the plan.
And they needed that time to manage the biggest logistical piece of all this, the financial cover story, the sale of their Brooklyn place.
A multi-million-dollar primary residence. In the world of high net worth people, selling that is a huge step toward a financial split.
And they had listed it for what, $14 million initially? Then dropped it to $12.75 million. That price drop alone suggests some urgency.
But Schumer, so cleverly, frames this massive financial move as just a parenting necessity.
Yeah, she publicly claimed the sale was purely logistical. They were moving closer to their son Gene's school in Manhattan because they were too lazy to commute 45 minutes.
Too lazy to commute.
Yeah.
It makes a multi-million-dollar real estate deal sound like ordering takeout instead of cooking.
And it beautifully reinforces that co-parenting narrative. It makes the transaction seem responsible, not like a pre-divorced asset split.
But doesn't that explanation kind of risk insulting the audience's intelligence?
Maybe a little. But the goal isn't to be 100% honest. The goal is to give the media a plausible, family-friendly explanation they can report as fact without digging deeper.
It stabilizes the reputation of both of them.
Exactly. It prioritizes the public image of shared goals.
So beyond the PR, we have to talk about the deeper context here, especially Chris Fisher's identity and the really sensitive personal info that had to be protected.
And this is where the strategy shifts from just damage control to, I think, ethical protection. Stay tuned, because we're about to dive into the A-list reaction that sealed this whole narrative.
If you're just joining us, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next.
What's so fascinating is that the ultimate test of her announcement wasn't just the media silence, it was the immediate validation from her peers. She got praised for having the best announcement.
Yeah, that really locked it in. But before we get to the celebrity reaction, let's just reset the context of their relationship. It was a whirlwind.
So fast. Linked in November 2017, married just 3 months later in February 2018.
And their professional lives blurred almost right away. They had the Food Network show, Amy Schumer Learns to Cook.
And the HBO docuseries, Expecting Amy. Their lives became content. So the end of the marriage had to be managed like content too.
Especially because Chris Fischer isn't just Amy Schumer's husband. He has his own significant status.
Right. He's a James Beard award-winning chef, a respected professional. A messy divorce would have damaged his brand just as much as hers.
Which brings us to the most delicate part of this whole thing, the ethical maneuvering around his health and identity.
This was critical. Schumer had previously and very publicly disclosed that Chris is on the autism spectrum.
Which is sensitive, protected information.
And when speculation started in early December, she had to explicitly deny any link between the split and his diagnosis.
The fact that she even had to do that shows that the tabloids were probably ready to go there, to use his diagnosis as a reason for the split.
And that would have been so damaging, not just for him personally, but for the neurodiverse community, linking it to marital failure.
So she used her brand power to protect his narrative?
It reinforces that image of mutual protection that defined the whole announcement.
So it was an ethical decision, but also a brand requirement for her to remain, the good celebrity. And the final layer of control was that A-list validation.
Yes, the moment the post went live, the support poured in. And these high-profile comments, they signaled to the rest of the media, this isn't a story worth digging into.
You had Sharon Stone writing, sending you both all the love. Sophia Bush said, be extra gentle with yourself. Just affirmations, really.
But the quotes that really cemented it came from media figures. Gayle King wrote, "Only you could make this announcement, humor and love."
And then Andy Cohen, who is a master of this stuff, just chimed in with, best announcement.
And that's it. That seals the deal. When media gatekeepers call your divorce announcement the best, you've turned a crisis into a brand triumph.
They controlled everything, the platform, the timing on a Friday night, the spin. It was all about brand stability and family goals.
This is a textbook example. They ensured the split was cohesive, privately and publicly, behind this thick firewall of co-parenting and self-deprecating jokes.
It really was a difficult personal decision, just executed with surgical precision. It proves that in Hollywood, even a divorce can be part of the show.
Which leaves us with a final thought for you to consider. Does this highly controlled, preemptive style of celebrity divorce, where all the drama is diffused with a joke set, a new, impossible standard for famous couples?
Or does it just reflect the maturity you need to navigate private life under a global microscope? When your life is already content, maybe the most responsible thing you can do is perform the separation flawlessly to protect the people who matter most. Something to mull over.
You've been listening to StarScope Report, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.